Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on SAP Datasphere training with me Anubhav. In our last episode we talked about the concept of creating SQL views using SQL scripting. We also discussed about data integration monitor, which is the central place in cockpit for monitoring all your all your replication jobs, all your monitoring of data flows, and also the remote table queries and remote tables. We also talked about system monitor, and also we discussed about the database analysis. Our topic for today's session will be data marketplace. We will talk about what is data marketplace, why we need data marketplace, and how can you utilize data marketplace to sync in or the data from the third party resource or third party sources. So this will be our topic for today. Followed by that, we will talk about intelligent lookup and also, if time permit, data sharing cockpit. So let's get started with data marketplace. So as you can clearly see, marketplace, it's a place like market where you can go and buy stuff from the market, just the way this is a marketplace of data where you can go and buy the data. So just like when you go to market, you have some things which are available in market at cheap rate, at expensive rate, at mediocre rate, and some things are free also. Similarly, here we have a market of data where we can go and buy the data in case certain data I would need for my analysis. For example, currency rates. For example, coordinates data. For example, population data or coronavirus data or maybe inflation data or maybe let's say for example the data related to pricing change, consumer price index, product prices, currency rates, exchange rates, stock market price, different things you can go and buy from data marketplace. So what it allows, data marketplace allows discover the data products from commercial and open data provider. So the open data provider are open sources where we get data for free. Whereas commercial data providers are the data provider where you pay for the data you want. You can also recruit your ecosystem to become a data provider yourself. So you can also become a data provider and you can view that is your data which you are providing available or not on the data marketplace. It is a private data exchange with suppliers, customers, and other business partners. So suppose a company's job is to do research like Gartner, if you heard about. Now, when they do research in market, they spend a lot of money to do that research. And once they do the research, they collect a lot of data. Now, if you are such a company, you can use DataSphere to basically collect your research and publish that on a data marketplace. And other people around the world who are part of an SAP DataSphere can come and purchase your data. It also have a intuitive landing page where you can go and explore what are the different partners available in the market who are providing data and what are the different things they are providing. So it has a very intuitive page which has the search function to access the data. You can preview most of the data. So before you actually make your purchase, you can preview. You can take a small trial of the data. It also have feature data provider. Yeah. So that is what it also has the feature data provider. Okay, why the font size has gone down? Let me increase back. Okay, next. Next, what we have is it bring existing data, our existing licenses with data provider. So you can actually see how many data you are already consuming, and it will show you the licenses for that data also in the data provider cockpit. You get the first preview and metadata of data products. So all the suppliers who are providing data, you can look at their preview. You can look at what are the columns are they providing, and then accordingly you can make a decision whether you want to download or buy or not. You can also choose our space in which we want to download all the data. So once you decided that you want to download and buy some data, then ultimately you decide which space on DataSphere you want to download your data, whether it is finance, HR, which space you want this data ultimately to be used by your team, by your companies. You can also manage all our subscribed data products centrally with delivery tag and email supplier for issues. So from here you can also contact the supplier who is supplying the data about some potential issues or enhancements or recommendations. You can also do that. So this is what our data marketplace, how it is. So if I go back and show you quickly, I go to the system and you see we have data marketplace here with the landing page. So it's just taking time to load on the landing page. Let me just try another session. Usually it doesn't take that much time. Just quickly refresh. So on the landing page, you will see basically different data providers which we can choose from. Yes, here it is. So you see we have feature data, most popular feature data provider and most popular data provider. And you can search any data provider here. Suppose I am interested to get currency related data. So I can search here, you see currency and you see currency pair, cryptocurrency market feed, cryptocurrency investor 2012 USA, yeah, forex currency exchange rates. From this is a data provider called Graviton. This is Fintech. This is MRE base. So these are the different data providers who are providing this data to us. Yeah. So you can choose, you can open, and then you can go inside, and there you can see what is this data product is all about. What is that they are providing to us. So if I come here, you can see this is a forex exchange rate, FX rate for currency conversion if you need. And now you can see what are the rates they have available from euro to ruble, USD to ruble, yes, USD to Japan yen. Sample data you can see here. So this is the sample data from euro to ruble. This is source currency. This is exchange, and this is a forex rate. So you can always just go and check what are the different data products they have available. And then you can see it belongs to finance category. So you can look by category also. It is $20. And you, if you want to purchase this data, you need to go to this website, and from there you need to basically buy the license. So if you open this website, it will take you to their official website. At the moment this page is not available, it's okay, but you can contact here their support, and ultimately you can buy this data. So that is the pricing. So you can register your own data providers over there, and then you can purchase the data accordingly. So then once you decide it, you can get a license. So to get a license, you need to agree, and then you need to pay that $20 to be able to get that data. So this is the general process, just like you go to any market in your local hometown or local shops and you purchase groceries or other products. Similarly, this is a data product marketplace. Now, what we want to do today, we want to take a practical use case, and then we will be implementing that practical use case based on the data which we fetch from the data provider. So what's my use case for today? So my use case for today is, you have been asked to find the impact of inflation on the total revenue or sales. So you will be basically analyzing the impact of inflation on total revenue and sales. So when inflation increase, what will happen? You will be selling your products at a higher cost in the market. So at the moment, we have the sales data of our company, which we which we prepared in the early days of our training from the HANA Cloud, which is connected to SAP DataSphere. We brought the sales item, sales order, we created a sales view. It has the total revenue and sales data. I want to see the impact of that on our sale, or impact of inflation on our sales. So if there is an inflation rate of, let's say, some percent or some amount, what will be the total revenue which I'll generate with that inflation rate per country, per city, for example. Yes. So that is what I want to know in when we, while doing sales reporting, per city and per country. So I want to know per city, per country, based on the inflation in that particular country. Yes, what will be the impact on my overall sales? Now the good news is, the inflation data is available on data marketplace, and we can get it for free. So once we get it for free for use, we will be utilizing the data. Once we download and get that data, we will use in our data artifacts like views to join with existing data and prepare the report in SAC. So that is what I want to now do. So let me just go ahead and start with the base view, and also then later on get the data. So I'm going to switch over back. I go to create a new graphical view in my first session. So I will go to create a new graphical view. So first of all, I will just get the total sales per city, per country. What is our goal? We want to know reporting of total sales per city, per country. That's our goal. So we need to aggregate data by city, by country for total sales. Now you know city and country information is available in addresses data. Yes. So we have address data which we will be joining. So let me give you the design first over here, and then I will be following the design. So phase number one, I'll be implementing in two phases. So phase number one, what I will be doing, I will be taking my address data where I have the city and country, and I will connect this data with a business partner, which is my customer data. I will join these two. After I join this, I will do a projection. Yes, to only extract city, country, and partner ID information. Then I will take my sales order view where I have the total sales data, and then I will join these two together. So this is the join symbol. Yes. Once we join these two, we will further do projection to only extract the sales and quantity data. because I want to do aggregate. Then what I will do, I will add a function which I will be utilizing to calculate some kind of calculation, and then I will be doing a aggregation of the data. Yes. And then finally I will present this data to the output. Now this will be my first phase where I will just build the total sales by sales or total sales by city and country. Then I will go and get the in the phase 2 I will go and get the data from data marketplace for inflation data of countries. So this is the data coming from data marketplace. Now in this data I will only again do projection to only get the relevant information, and once it is done I will apply a filter to get only the inflation rate of 2024. I'm not interested to get all the inflation rate. And then once it is done I will just write a function, and what this function does, it will do some formatting of my currency code, because or country code, because the country data which comes, let's say here the country data comes as IND, India, but here in my business partner address the country code is IN. Now if you try to match the inflation for IND with IN, it will not work. So you have to truncate one character, this character you need to truncate so that it can match happen. And then what we will do, we will basically do the join of this branch with this branch. So we will perform the join ultimately, and this join, then on top of it rest of the logic will run. So ultimately what I will get, I will get city, country, total sales, and sales after inflation. What is the impact of sales on the inflation? I would want latitude, longitude, and I also want the quantity of the total sales. This is what I would need ultimately in the final output of my view. That's my use case. I have given you the design, first use case, then design, and then implementation. This is the right approach of implementing DataSphere in any company. What people do, they immediately start with DataSphere. They don't even consider thinking of a design, because if your design is not proper, ultimately your output will never come. Remember one thing, companies like SAP Labs, we focus 50 to 60% time first on design, and then we go to implementation, because then your implementation will be faster and accurate. Whereas companies like service based companies, Infosys, TCS, they focus more on early coding, coding, and then there is lot of rework. You come back, redo, come back, redo, review, redo, review, redo. It eats up a lot of time. So focus first on design. That's the right approach. Okay, let's move on then, and now understand how can we implement this use case. So first of all, let me implement the phase one, the black color. So I'll switch over back, and I will just add my tables. I already have these tables. You see this icon, they are replicated tables to my data sphere. So I get the addresses table, and I drag drop business partner table to perform a join. And you see the join condition already depicted. Very nice. Right after this join, we will do the projection to only get the relevant fields I need. So I will just go ahead and add a projection. So after the this node is done, you see this is the projection node. In the projection node now I'll only choose what I really need, and rest all I will exclude. So I exclude this, exclude everything. City I need, rest all I exclude. Country I need, rest all I'm excluding. I don't need all that data. Latitude I need, longitude I need, because today I'll also show you doing analysis using the map control in analytics cloud. Okay, so what do we ultimately have? We have city, we have partner ID, country, latitude and longitude. Now you can also click the preview data button at every step here, because it's a graphical view. So you can preview data to see what data it is fetching ultimately. So always you can do the preview in a graphical view like this. So once this projection is done, we got our data, and the next step will be to basically join this data with the sales order data. So let's first keep testing. Yes, you got partner ID, city, country, latitude, longitude. Very good. Now we join this data with our sales order view. So if you remember, we created a view sales order earlier in the past, and this was the sales order view we created. I will join with that view. So join, and the join condition is partner ID. Very nice. Now we have the next as projection. So in the projection, I will only keep now few fields. I will exclude everything. I'll keep city. I'll keep country. I'll keep latitude. I'll keep longitude, gross amount. Rest all things I'm excluding because I want to ultimately do aggregation. Quantity I'll keep. And now let's preview the data at the end of this projection. So till now only the non-aggregated data will come, where you will know the total sales per city and country. You see city, and if you notice, country code are two characters. DU means, I don't know, Denmark, I think. Canada, CA, India, IN, France, Great Britain. Yes, all these are different. France. Yes, you see different Australia, China. All these countries are coming in two character, and the gross sales line item and quantity. Now I want to total. So you see Germany repeating multiple time. DE, yeah, DU, GB multiple time. I want to total sales per country, per city. I want total. So what I do, I will just I will perform a aggregation. So I come and you see this aggregation node. Let's aggregate the data, and I will say, please aggregate this data. And this is, let's say, total sales. So it will automatically aggregate all the measures. Now also come back and make it as a fact view. So let's call it as view underscore sales inflation, and I will mark it as fact. And my measures are, you see, gross amount quantity already detected by system as a measure with the sum as a default aggregation. So this is my stage one. Stage one, where I've got my total sales data per city, per country with the latitude, longitude as a total along with the quantity. I will just preview this data now after the deployment. Let it deploy the phase one. Deployment is still progressing. Just trying to view the data now. So I should get the total sales now. After the aggregation node, I should get the total sales over here. Per city, per country, what is the total sales? So let it preview. In the meanwhile, what I will do now, I will switch over back to data marketplace. From data marketplace, now I want the inflation data. So search for inflation. And you see there is something called OECD inflation forecast data. So what will be the tentative inflation next year 2024 in each country? Yes, what will be the inflation rate with which each country will operate? Tentative. So I can go inside the inflation forecast data just to observe this data provider. What is it offering to me? So it is offering an overview of all the inflation data. There is also a nice chart to indicate that. You can also build directly take this and build a chart like this in Analytics Cloud by creating a view on top of this data. Now this is the sample data. You see location. is the country. You see Australia, AUS. Now, do you remember our data? What we have here, it has country code in two characters, AU, DE, yes, IN. But in the data product, the data is in three character. So if I try to do a join, that join will not work. You see, IN, US, yeah, Australia, AU is there for Australia. So you see AU, but here it is AUS, Australia. So it will not work. So what we need to do? We need to do some operation to be maybe able to make the join proper. And then they have indicator subject. We are not interested. We are only interested in location. Time we are interested only 2024. So I'm only interested in 2024, year 2024. And what's the inflation value? So it is 1%, 2%, 3%, 0%. Yes. What's the inflation in this country? I want to know. Then it's part of finance economy. What is the fees? How much is it cost? So if you come down, it's free. Load for free of charge. You see, pricing is free. Very nice. I'm lucky today that I luckily got a free data set. Usually there are $20, $30, but it's good that we got this free. So let's load this data. So I click on load button, load for free. And what it does, it will go to internet, it will go to the data marketplace, and it will download all the data. It will persist in my data sphere. It is asking where you want to load. Remember the space, it's a central place for all your, it's a work zone for you where you keep all your data for your particular area. So as a, I just have one space, I choose that. You can choose, let's say you want in finance, SDMM, where you want this data to be fetched. So I choose that. I click on load product. So in just few seconds it will load the data. It will basically create a database table and perhaps a view in my data sphere space where I have this OCD inflation data available in my system. Wow. And that then can be used to build our face to this orange color design. Yeah. So that we will link it, and then we will aggregate to also know based on the inflation what will be the ultimate sales. Yeah. What will be the ultimate sales accordingly. So let it load. You can also go back and check data builder now, has it loaded or not. So in the data builder, when you come, you will see, if you come down somewhere, we should see this data would have got loaded. Inflation, it was, you see, it is loaded, and table name is OECD inflation V. So yes, here it is. You see, inflation data, very nice. I click in this, and I want to just see. So this is the OECD inflation V. That's the data they have got it. You see, this is all the data. I can preview the data here to see whether it has come or not. So this is how you, it's so easy. You just go click a button and the data got created. So basically it creates a artifact analytics. It creates a data sphere artifact for you, which directly can be consumable. You see, it has come directly. It is consumable in the data sphere views. So now you can start using this guy. Yes, yes, you can start using this guy. So let's go back and go to the tables, and I should see the OECD inflation V. Here it is. So bring that in our view. So what is our design say? After this, projection filter only for 2024, and do the country. Remember, three character country are there. So we need to get it to character. So I'll go, and first of all I'll add a projection. I don't need everything from that data set. I only need few properties. Okay, first of all, what is it the issue? Because following reason may not have any column of this table does not have any column. Please use one column to proceed. So you see, this is a bug in data sphere. A data sphere is unable to detect this table properly right now because it was just loaded. So I loaded in another session here, and here in this session it is did not able to detect its columns. So what you do, just do a refresh. Don't worry, just do a refresh. It will work. Just a matter of time. So I refresh. Sometime you may face this issue. We already checked it that there are columns, there are things already available, so it shouldn't be a problem. I come back, go to tables, and then I'll choose the OECD inflation. I add a projection, Yes, you see the error is gone now. I add projection, and I in the projection I only choose location, time and value. Rest all I will exclude. So value I need, time I need, and location. Location is your country. Time is your 2021, 2022, what was the inflation rate, and value is the inflation value actually. So first step is done. Now next step is filter. We want only data for 2024 next year. So we want year filter for inflation. So here you come down, you see here you have your columns, and you just add this time is equals to 2024. So I'm only interested in the 2024 car data. So that we are adding here. Yeah, you can here create a variable also. So you see there is a parameter option. You can definitely create a parameter for your view and pass that. So that in that case, the report become dynamic, that whichever years of impact you want to observe, it will show that. So whichever year inflation you want to check, and you can insert the parameter value. That anyway you can do. It's a so guys, this requirement can become very, very complex also. Yes, you can imagine with your mind, you can imagine billions of use cases. There can billions of parameters in one single use case. Yes. So that can you can make when you are practicing. I am teaching you when you are practicing, think about those billions of use cases and try to accordingly implement that. That you can anyway do. So once the filter is done, our next step is to add a function. So we add a function, and in this function, we will just go ahead and create a function on the location. If you remember, we have our country data in 3 characters in our data set, 3 characters. So we want to truncate that. So what I do, I create a new calculated column. Let's call it as INF country. And here I will write a expression. So it should be 2 character country code. So what I'll do, I'll use a function from the data sphere. So there are many functions. So there is a function called left function. It returns a specific number of character or byte of a string starting from the left side. So I say, please give me the left 2 characters from my location column. Yes, you can up to you. There are multiple ways of achieving it. So don't be biased with my solution. Please go back and check the requirement. I gave you the requirement. Implement the way you want. Don't look at my solution. Implement the way you want when you practice. And then if you get stuck, come back and check my solution. That should be the right approach of practicing. Okay. Inflation country, I've got it calculated with the left of location of 2. Now let's join this node. So what we do, we will just go ahead and join this node over here with this data. So I drag drop, and you see it is now creating a join of this function with the incoming data from that side. So what is the commonality between these two? It is the country with the inflation country. That's a join criteria I have. Very nice, fantastic. And once it is done, the join is done, we will further do projection, because now I am interested only in the value, in the city. I'm not interested in the time. I'm not interested in inflation country. I'm interested. Okay, one more thing I do after this join, I'll add a function. In this function, what I will do, I will calculate the new sales after inflation. So we create a new calculated column, sales inflated, inflated sales amount. And here what you do, you multiply the gross sales multiplied with the value of inflation for that particular country. So that is the inflated amount. So it should be decimal, let's say 15 to validate. And then you do the projection. So we are only interested to show output with, let's say, city, country, latitude, longitude, gross amount, quantity, and inflated amount. These are the only things I want ultimately in the output. And finally, there is the aggregation, which is good. Everything looks good. Let's deploy. So what I will also do now, as I cannot export this model, I will take a screenshot of this guy and put it in the PPT. So when you guys are building, you can look at my solution. However, I'm just following the design. But just in case, if you want to look at my solution, you can just go back and just look at my solution actually by referring to this design, which I am taking a screenshot and putting it for you in the PPT. So that's my ultimate design for the solution. So as a trainer, it is my duty that I will provide as much information as possible to all of you. So later on, you guys can go and check. Yeah, this is our design. So now let's go back and test if we got the inflated amount data or not based on the inflation per country. So I'll just check. So we should get a amount, sales amount and inflated amount per country. And each country and city combination has to come only once. It should not be multiple times. And then to improve performance, because you see it is calculating everything and that takes a lot of time. So you see now the inflated amount. So what was the actual gross amount and what is the inflated amount? So actual gross amount was this and inflated amount is this. This is wrong. You see, if inflation is being applied, yes, so 47,000 has to become more than 47,000, right? 980,000 should become more than 980,000. So there is something wrong in our formula. I've did a mistake in our formula actually. Let me go back to formula. Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. This is my bad. So the formula should be amount. This is inflation. It's a percentage value. So how do you calculate percentage with an amount? So multiplied with 100 plus the value, the inflated value, divide by 100. Yes, that is what you do. So this is the correct formula. I'm so sorry. I did a wrong mathematic calculation. I forgot the school basics. So that's the correct formula. Let me deploy again. And now what I will do is I will also do view persistency, because later on I will use this data in the analytics cloud. I don't want any performance issue. So what we will do, we will say persist this data permanently. So we will come here and we will do a view persistency. So I will perform a view persistency. I want to permanently persist this data. So I create new, load new snapshot. Yes, and it is processing. So they are persisting the view. Persisting view means all this calculation, this entire flow, this whole thing will be calculated, executed, and whatever output comes, instead of getting that at runtime, system will persist this data permanently in data sphere. So that is what will boost my performance for the analytics later on. So at least it is going on. In the meanwhile, let's look at the data preview. Has it gone ahead and calculated the total revenue based on inflation? So remember, the one way to check is, of course, whether it has done the calculation correctly. You can also go back and validate. So let's go back to one of the country inflation data over here. We want to know inflation on a country. So you see Germany, it has earlier, it was the amount was 118,000. It has become 224,414. The inflated amount, inflation matlab महंगा हो गया, everything is expensive. So it is inflated, you see. So let's see Germany ka rate. What's the rate of Germany for inflation in 2024? So I just say 2024. I will add also country. So for Germany, the rate of is 3.34%. Yeah. Let's go and cross validate. I open my calculator. 3.34. Yes. So 118, 125 into 103 divide by 100. 3.34%. Na? This is the gross amount. 118, 125 into 3.34%. Let's add that with the 118, 125. 122 something is coming. Here it is 24 something coming. I don't know. Something is wrong, but at least it is doing the calculation. I'm not sure how it is taking care of, which rate it has picked up. I don't know. But at least what it does, it is actually doing the calculation. It is inflating. You see, it is 3% more than 118. Yes. So this way we got the inflated amount ultimately, and we persisted this data. So next time you do data preview, it will take less time. And now it is the time that we go to SAP Analytics Cloud and analyze this with the with the geomap with the geomap. So now if I go back and just see the impact of this on inflation, I will switch over back to SAP Analytics Cloud. Now I need to pause my screen for a second because I need to go to my private files and get the URL of Analytics Cloud. Just allow me a minute. I pause my screen. I'm just scrolling through my passwords for SAP Analytics Cloud. Just allow me, trying to access SAP Analytics Cloud. I got here. I always store my passwords in password depot, which is the secure way, and I note down URLs in the notepads. So I got ya. So this is our system. Now let's create a story. Okay, we forgot to create an analytic model because you can't consume a fact view directly. You have to create an analytic model. Let's create an analytic model quickly so that this model can be used. So this is it. We need an analytic model, sales inflation, deploy. Yes. And what's my space? It is 0874. You can see in the URL also, my space is 0874. So I switch over back. I create a new canvas page, optimize design experience. And here we add a chart first to compare country wise. What's the inflation? What's the total sales difference based on inflation country wise? So what is my space? 0874. Let's search my space here on the left side. We already created a connection. I again repeated this how to create a connection in last class. If you forgotten, please check the last class video. 0874. Is it really 0874? Let me just check. 0874. Yes, it is. Why my connection is not visible? Okay, never mind. We can recreate that really quick. So I can go back to connections, click on new, SAP DataSphere live data connection, and I will use my GE50874. My DataSphere host name is this guy over here, 443. Okay, it will create a connection. Done. Let's go back to story, create a canvas page, click OK, and we add a chart. and I will choose on the left side 0874. Here it is, and we should see our space, and you see analytic model sales inflation has come. Wow. So this data come live from DataSphere to Analytics Cloud. And now I compare the gross amount. Oops, guys, where is our inflated amount? It's not coming. So we did a small mistake. If I go back, we forgot to add the inflated amount as part of measure. That is a big mistake I did. That's why it's not coming for analysis. So you see this sales inflated amount has to be marked as a measure, change to measure and redeploy. That was a big mistake. So if you not put it in the measure, it will not come for any aggregation or any analysis. It will not be available in analytic model and subsequently in DataSphere. So it's deploying now. Let's wait for it to deploy. We can switch over back. Just refresh here in Analytics Cloud and check. It's not coming. Let me refresh the whole page. Do I need to refresh my analytic model also, or are the changes deployed? Let me check. So this one is deployed, no problem. Expose for consumption, run in analytic mode. Okay, just redeploy, expose for consumption. So it is deploying the change now. And right after this deployment is done, I will switch over back to Analytics Cloud to actually consume this analytic model, sales inflation, and we will also want to analyze with respect to the geolocation because we have latitude and longitude which we are using. No, analytic mode doesn't require to be turned on. It's not needed to turn on analytic mode. So now I come back to the, because it got deployed, you see, I come back to the news story. I create a chart and I choose here the connection. 0874 is my connection, and you will see this is the space analytic model. Let's give it a try. And let's see now. Guys, you see inflation rate is not coming. There's something wrong. So what this I also observed continuously in the past also. The analytic model which we create on top of the view, it has issues. It doesn't get the refreshed data. Yes, I think we need to refresh our analytic model also. So let me go back to the analytic model, sales inflation. No, repersistence of data is not required. So you see here in the analytic model, it is not putting this as a measure automatically. Yeah, so this is not classified as a measure. So I think I need to manually do that. So yes, I just check this measure and come back. So you see now it is added as a measure, sales inflated amount. Yes, so we'll delete from here. We keep it in the measure. So please make sure that you add it again from here. Okay, so let's redeploy the analytic model. Only then it will be made available to the analytic cloud. So it is deploying the change of analytic model. And right after this, we will be able to analyze this in SAP Analytics Cloud. So let's go back to here and we just have to do a refresh here. Yes, just do a refresh here. And let's see. No, it's not available still. I think it didn't deploy. Yeah, now it deployed. Let's do a refresh back in Analytics Cloud. It will come. It will come. It's just a matter of time. Just refresh the story. Create a fresh story to see that inflated amount. So it's just since it's a live data connection, it takes some time to refresh things. So you have to make sure that you always refresh things properly. Okay, let's give it a try. Do I get the inflated amount or not as a measure? And yes, it comes. So we compare the gross amount and inflated amount. That's a difference totally. I want per country. So I add per country. You can see after the inflation where it is going. So in 2024, you can see this is the expected gross sales after the inflation. I'm only interested to see for top 5 countries. So first of all, we can sort based on inflation highest to lowest, and then we can just apply ranking only top 5 countries. So Australia, Canada, Britain, India, and Germany. These are the top 5 inflated countries and their gross sales accordingly. Now, most interestingly, I will create now a map. So watch out. We will go ahead and create a geo map here, geo map. I add that, and I will show in this geo map 2 layers. One is the layer with inflation and one is the layer without inflation. So I'll say total bubble, layer 1, total sales, which is new natural sales. My location dimension is not there. Oh, so I have latitude, longitude, but I don't have a location dimension at the moment. Hence, I cannot use GeoMap. So what I should have done also in SAP Datasphere here, I should have created a location dimension based on latitude, longitude in my view. So we need to go back to the view, and in the view, I should create a new location dimension. So calculated column, type geometry ST point. Yes, this one I need to create. And when you create that, you must have to specify the value of latitude and longitude actually for the as a column. So that we have to give as latitude, comma, longitude. That we need to do. So this we need to add as latitude and longitude concatenated. We saw this earlier in our session. Yeah. So this is a
Such
latitude, longitude. Why
special
it's not changing?
identifier.
It should change it to HANA ST point. It's not showing, guys. Ideally, it should show me here. The moment I change it to ST point, it should choose allow ask me to enter the latitude longitude. It is not doing that. Something is wrong. Something's wrong with this. So ideally, it should allow me to choose the latitude longitude. Let me delete this. So do I need to do this earlier? Let me try to do it earlier. I just modify a bit. Function, calculated column. It's still showing expression. Ideally, it should allow me here to choose my latitude longitude column. It's not allowing me. Something is wrong. I need to check that. But ultimately, once you have a ST point, this is very important. You have to add a ST point type of data type. Only then system will allow you to choose latitude and longitude. So currently there is a problem. It is not showing me the drop down. This is a bug in this. Maybe I'll report this today to SAP. Ideally, it should open up here a drop down with latitude and longitude. drop down, which we also did it in the past. In the previous classes, we did that. So ultimately, then you will be able to use the geomap and analyze. Yeah. So this is how you will be able to analyze. The moral of the story is that we learn how to use a data product downloaded from a data marketplace. That's the main goal of the or main learning or main key takeaway from this tutorial, not the not the geomap actually. So this is how we can analyze our use case for data marketplace. Now, with that, let's take a quick break here for 5 minutes. And on the other side of the break, we will start with intelligent data lookup. And also we will see another example of data marketplace. We will also learn how to send our own data and publish it on data marketplace and make money from that. You can also do that. So I'll be back after a short break and then we will resume the session again. Welcome back after the short break. So now there's a question. Can we apply filter on the view for validation like we did for table? Yes, we can do that. Same thing. You can already see we did that. This is a view. On top of it, we did projection and we did function. Yes, we can do that. You can do this inside the view also, but that should be avoided because depending on use case, you can apply that. Tables downloaded or replicated from data marketplace, can we change it or to fact dimension if required rather than relational? No, I think we cannot. Let me see if they allow. Oh yes, it does. You see, we can change. So tables which we got from there, they got fully replicated, and here you have full permission to control these tables. Yeah, you can, you can. Okay.
No,
So now
Anubhav,
let's move
the
on to the
first
next
question.
topic for now. The next topic for now is called data intelligent lookup. Now, you saw one use case here, very interesting, that country code was not matching. Yes, but in order to match country code, there can be many other ways. And one way for that could be called fuzzy search. What is fuzzy search? I'm sure you would have used the fuzzy search already in your life regular basis, like in Google. So if I go to Google, for example, and when I search something in Google, let's say I want to search Fury training. But now if in this Fury training word, if I do a mistake, I miss one word, yes, or if I write a wrong word, instead of Fury, I write Fury, why? But you can notice that Google still recognize it. So why is a wrong keyword I've entered, wrong character I entered, but still as if the Google is able to find the correct word, right? You might have also seen in your mobile phone when you're typing a WhatsApp message, that time also it corrects you for small character issues. Sometimes E, A, like that we do, right? What is that? That is called fuzzy search. Now, how fuzzy search works? Typically, it checks the percentage of a character. So there is a word, let's say, there is a word I want to write called, let's say I want to write home. Now, if you see, home has 4 characters. Each character is contributing 25% per character. So 4 into 25, total word size is 100%. Yes. Now, if I tell the system I want a fuzzy search with the accuracy of 75%, which means I am telling system that out of these 4 characters, I want 75% fuzzy, which means if user type HEME, which means user have done one character wrong, my fuzzy search accuracy is 75%. So system will still be able to search home. Why? Because this one character was a mistake. So I am allowing system to go and look forward for a fuzzy search with 75% accuracy. I am giving system a buffer of 25%, which means one character buffer I am given. However, if I say HEEME, yes, then system will not detect home. Why? Because now I have one extra character and I have 2 character which have done a mistake. So in this case, if you want still this one to be found, find the home or search home, then I need to bring down my accuracy to 25%. Yes, or less than that. So based on the use case, you can decide the fuzzy threshold. This is called fuzzy threshold. You can decide how much mistake you let allow system to do when it comes to fuzziness. Yeah, that is called fuzzy search. It's a feature of HANA. So basically it is controlled by a threshold, that with the total number of character, how much percent of characters you are ready to compromise to be looked into the search. So that is called fuzzy search. So SAP also offers that. Yeah, and we will see a use case, and that is called intelligent lookup. So intelligent lookup works based on fuzzy search. So what is the purpose of intelligent lookup? It allows blending external data with internal data set with a lookup based on fuzzy search. So basically it's a join, but that join is based on a fuzzy search. So it will still be able to join two columns even their values are not matching. Now there can be many use cases. Sometime, let's say you have put home. Your data contains home in capital letter, but you are comparing with small letter. That could also be a advantage using fuzzy search. It happens when you bring data from different data sources in data sphere. Let's say you got from BW. In BW, data is in this format, capital letter. And you got data from ECC, which is in this format, camel case letter. Now, if you join ECC data with BW data in data sphere, it will not work because one is capital, one is small. Yes, it's a character search. So this could be one use case of fuzzy search where you can use intelligent lookup to still join these columns. Now, there could be, let's say you get a material, you get material called M2, but in another system that there is a bug. Because of that, it is underscore M2. You want to compare that, also that will be fine. Let's say material M1, but another system the material is M1 hash, something like this. Yes, I want to compare still because it's ultimately the same material. So in general, if you do a simple join, the simple join will never be able to join this data because of one small character or two small character or camel case mismatch. Yes, so we can use intelligent lookup to still perform the joins. Yeah, still perform the joins. So that is the benefit of intelligent lookup. It allows you to harmonize data sets that share no common identifier. Starting where traditional joins are failing because of camel case or case sensitivity or extra character, etc. Then we have interactive environment for mappings. We have mappings need to be created only once and can be automated through rules. Mappings needs to be created only once and automated through the rules. So we can use exact and fuzzy matching to harmonize dataset. In long story short, it's a join. Yes, it's a join, and this join will be based on different criterias. So you let the join work even the two data are not absolute identical. Yes, even the two data are not absolute identical. It allows rule matching for data experts, and only after acceptance the join will be made. So system will give you proposals that how much data it could match and how much data it could not match, and how many duplicate matches were found between these two tables. So all of that system will allow you to do, and based on that you will do the intelligent lookup. So let me show you an example of intelligent lookup. I have the retail sales data and the branch data with me. So I'll go to our data kits in our DataSphere training. In data kit, I have supermarket sales data. So I have supermarket sales and I have supermarket customer data in our analytics, in our use case. So now if you notice that I have the master data and I have transaction data. When you look at this master data and transaction data, you can see that this is my supermarket sales data with the branch, and all the branch IDs are in capital letter in my transaction data. This is a clean data. Now I have my master data coming from another system, and this data is containing branch information. You see branch information with the branch ID. But look at here, there is a issue with this data. The data is not fully clean. It is a small letter. So when you do the join will certainly fail. Then there is this extra character hash, then there's this extra character underscore, then this, in the case of E there is an extra E, yes, in case of U there is extra H, yeah. So we have a lot of extra characters on the master data. This is dirty data. This is dirty data. Now one option is you go and cleanse your dirty data first and then you do the join. Another option, you don't have to touch or cleanse your data. You can still do the join between these two data set using a fuzzy search or a case insensitive search. So that you can do with the help of intelligent lookup. So intelligent lookup will still able to harmonize and combine you the data coming from different data sources which are not yet fully cleansed. Yes, that's the benefit you get. And once you apply that, that output you can use in another view also. So let me upload first of all these two data sets really quick in our DataSphere system. I'm going to switch over back to DataSphere system, and we go to the data builder layer as we've been doing already, and import the CSV file for both store data, supermarket customer data, upload, and maybe another session I will go and supermarket sales data, upload. So this is the data you see. Now you can cleanse the data right away here. Let's say you can remove this underscore if you want. If you want, you can do the cleansing here. You can apply smart transformation, you see, directly. While you are uploading and deploying the data, you can apply smart transformation, replace every occurrence of underscore in this with the blank. You can do all those cleansing. That is anyway possible. You can apply here any kind of change to uppercase, lowercase. You can apply this basic transformation directly in the data sphere. This is one way to cleanse your data immediately. Now, or let me just deploy. Yes. So I've just converted everything to uppercase, but let me also roll back. I don't want to apply. I press escape, I deploy. So I'm deploying dirty data. Yeah. Intentionally, I'm doing dirty data. So this data will of course not match with the data of your store transaction, because store transaction, the branch IDs are in capital letters. It's very cleansed data. So I can deploy. Since my goal is today to show the the use case of the intelligent lookup, I am intentionally doing this. Okay. I can of course apply smart transformation and cleanse my data, but then it will not be good teaching, because I want to teach you. So now it's done. Both the data set for sales store data and the entity data, basically the branch data, is uploaded. So in case of a normal join, it will not work. So we will switch to intelligent lookup. Here it is. Click on that. And oh, I missed one thing. After you deploy your store data, you need to also mark the keys. So if I try to add now my table, it will give me an error. Supermarket customer, if I try to add, you see, we didn't mark the key. There's no primary key. So let me just go back. Supermarket, sales. I mark the primary key as store ID, and that's a fact data. Invoice ID is the key over there. Yeah, let's deploy. Just go back. Customer is a dimension and deploy. Okay. So both are deployed with the keys now. Let's go back and try to do intelligent lookup. It doesn't refresh by default. I see many times. So I have to restart intelligent lookup. And now let's add my table for supermarket customer and entity. You see, it didn't update. You see, still it is giving the error. So it takes some time to update. Though I have marked it as a key, and you see it is deployed also. It's a bug in DataSphere. It doesn't update immediately everything. So let me refresh my session. Though it got deployed, it is still not detecting that I've added the keys. Okay, let's give it a try. Intelligent lookup, and I just search super customer. Yes, it is taking now and sales. So the normal join, let's perform. So first of all, we will come here, and you see there is an error. When you hover the mouse on the error, it will tell you what is the issue. Please specify the pairing column for input entity customer. What will be you will be pairing? I want to pair based on branch ID. What will be my output column? So based on this join, what I want to actually see, I want to see the total revenue generated by that customer, and I want to also know the total quantity sold to that customer. Yeah, and I want also income from that customer. These three things will be my output, which I want to show the output. And I want to also, of course, need to know the city and quantity. I don't need date, and let's say, yeah, that's the data I want. Yeah, city, date, all these things I want. I've added that. Other things I can ignore. I don't need. So this is the output I want based on the join. But it's not a normal join. You already saw the use case. I explained you that we have the dirty data. So what I'll do now, I go back here, and I first of all join my branch ID with the branch column. Yes. When I do this, and then let me deploy this first. So I name it as store intelligent lookup IL store sales. Click on save. And then I will perform the deploy. Yes. And once you deploy, only then you can run the intelligent lookup. So you see, not yet run. So let's run it. So, hey computer, can you please compare my two columns and tell me what exactly is the number of matches you can identify to perform this join. So this step will only be used in case you are very sure that you will not have a clear join. The data is not cleansed. Yeah, only then you will go with this. So you see, 0% automatic match, 33% duplicate matches, 67% didn't even match. Now I want to improve accuracy. So I know that some data is capital and small. Because of that, it didn't work. So I will now remove the white spaces. If there are white spaces, I mean there is a space at the beginning of branch ID and at the end of branch ID. And if there are capital and small letter cases, yes, please also consider these things while doing the match. I do change that rule. Yes, I do change that rule. Yes, and now I deploy again and again run, and then see will it improve my match. So these are the options. So these are the only available options which you can use to improve your matches with the uncleansed data, unclean data. You can perform the join. So the moment you change something, it will everything go under 100% unmatched by default. But you have to run again. So we just now told system to ignore the trailing spaces and also ignore the case sensitive. With that, let's see how much extra matches or how much accuracy it can use. So now you see 44%. It has got 44% score improved. Last time it was 35%. Now it is 44% when we exclude the checks. So if you want to accept this, then you have to click here. You have to click here to if you want to accept. So click on this button called show data preview. So you see it has got multiple matches when you do case sensitive, and it has got five set unmatched. So this is 56%. Five set is 56%, that is unmatched, and 44% multiple. So if I go to multiple, now it will, the business expert has to run this, guys. It is you or the business expert who know the data very well. So system is proposing that the D branch ID is matching with this D branch ID. Do you accept this change? Is this a correct match or not? So this is still a manual work. You have to manually carefully go in and confirm to the system that yes, system, this is a correct match. Whatever your proposal is good. So from my branch table to my sales table, is this match correct? D to D? Yes, I am fine. I click on match. So what will happen? This warning was there. I manually accept this change. I say yes, it is a match. You see it become 11% green. Now next is F branch ID. Computer is proposing that I feel that this F has to match with this F from the transaction table. Is this a match, Anubhav? Yes, this is also correct. Your proposal is correct, system. I'm fine with it. Please go ahead and match that. Now system will perform the match. So you see accuracy is 22% now. You see T, is this also a match, Anubhav? Yes, please go ahead. Is this also a match? So you have to, it is keeping the both the table left, right, and proposing you that there are many records, one to many records are matching. And you see, it also found small a with capital A because we are doing case sensitive. So is this a match, Anubhav? Can I match it? Yes, please go ahead, match it. So now I have increased my final match to 44% green. So that data got joined. It will increase my match. And now the join will work. Now, what about the red ones? So you know that our data set is dirty because we have hashtag, we have underscore. So I want to probably go a fuzzy match now to improve my matching score. So what I'll do is right now, if you see the data, guys, in the output for many records, it will show null. Whenever the join doesn't work, what happens? The other table data becomes a null. You see, gross income is null. You see, for underscore C, it didn't match. So the total amount, quantity, gross income, everything become null. You see, a lot of nulls are there. Null. So we don't want null. We want data. We want actually the data. So it is not able to find. For matches, it was able to calculate. You see, for A, it was able to calculate total. But for C, for B, it is not. So let's add another rule. So there is this button to add one more rule. Add for unmatched. Yes, add a rule for unmatched records. So which is 56% red. Now I will give the rule name as, let's say, fuzzy match, and I want a fuzzy match. And you remember I explained you the threshold. So here you can reduce the threshold. So I'll say match score. If it is 40%, I want to go threshold 50%. So first you have to change it to review score, and then you have to change this to let's say 60%. So if match score is 60%, go with 50% threshold level. Yes. And now you have to also add the columns. What are the columns for matching branch ID with the branch ID? Select that. Okay. And let's deploy and then run again, and then see with the fuzzy search how much percentage with that allowed threshold which I've given, it is able to compare and match or not. System will propose you again. System will say, according to the fuzzy rule you have given, it seems that hashtag B is matched with the B. Would you like to accept that change? So system will give you that proposal, guys. Yeah. So you'll see. So deployment is done. Let's run it. And now you see for this remaining 56%, it is going to perform the match. So you see 33% were now unmatched, multiple matches were found for 30 because there are multiple record in the sales table. So you see for double E, it found a match. So it is proposing with the threshold fuzzy search. For double E, do you think E is the correct branch, Anubhav? Yes, I'm okay. I'm very happy. System, you see, for one extra character system found out. I'm very happy. Yes, it's a match. Hey computer, your guess is right. The double E from my branch data, which is uncleansed data, E is the correct match from transaction table. HU, what is the correct match? So is it the H correct match? Yes, that's a correct match. So this way you are improving the score. So it should be done by a business data expert. So somebody just give you blind data and say, okay, you do the match. Probably you are not the right person because you do not have the right functional knowledge. So this use case is very simple, but in future, maybe when you go real time, use cases can become very complex where you will not be the decision maker to see if it's a match or not. So either you need to sit together with the business expert, or the business expert need to go through my data sphere training to learn this. Now we have 22% left. So further you can also add again, and then again reduce the threshold accuracy to finally reach to the 100% score. Now if you look at the final output, majority of the data will work and it will get the results. You see majority of them. Still we see G is not matched, and let's say C is not matched. Maybe I'm fine with that. I'm okay. I'm ready to accept this, and we are ready. So now I've got IL store sales. Now this data I will use to show it to the analytics cloud. So what I'll do, simply I'll go back. I will abandon all the nulls, and the remaining data I can show it to analytics cloud. Yes. So cleansing can be done many ways. You can do cleansing in Excel file, your source data, views. You can apply functions, create view on view. You can use smart transformation while uploading the data. Many ways you can do the cleansing. So now I'm happy. I will use this to build a view. So we will switch over back to create a view in the data builder on top of the intelligent lookup. So create a new graphical view. And if you see in the left hand side, you will see your intelligent lookup, IL store sales. Add that. On top, add a function that I'm only interested to, sorry, on top, add a projection, sorry, uh, add a filter, sorry. So add a filter that I'm only interested to see the data where. So I have to also choose my columns. Why it's not showing columns? Something is wrong. IL does not have any column. Okay, this is a this is the issue. You see, we already have the columns. Why it is saying does not have a column? It does have a column. So it's a refresh issue, guys. Let me just go out from here, create a graphical view. So you see there are many refresh issues still in DataSphere. Don't get discouraged by that. You still can manage to refresh your screen a bit and then try. Yeah, we saw multiple time today. So now it has the column. You see, in this session it is telling doesn't have a column. Yeah, and in another session it is showing the column. So yeah, these issues are there in DataSphere, so you need to live with them. Okay, so now add a filter and I'm only interested to show the value with the total value gross income is not null. So we can use a function and we can search for null function. If null function gross income, put the value as 0. So if there is a null value in the gross income, put the value as 0. That is how we can add our filter. We can add our filter expression. So if the gross income is null, please add that. Why it is giving an error? Filter one is not complete. Why it's so you can also actually check the documentation for the code. Now maybe I'm only interested if gross income is not equal to null. So maybe I just say I'm only filtering the record where it is not equal to gross income, not null. That I put the rule, validate my rule is valid, and we can just see. So what it will do, this filter, it will discard all the null records. So there were two records which were unmatched even after fuzzy search. Yeah. So I will now deploy my view. Let it be a fact. So we can create analytic model. So the process remains same from here. Create an analytic model using analytics cloud. Whatever you want to do, you can do that. So that is the moral of the story. So view, intelligent lookup, sales, store data. That's my final view which I've created. So this is how you can utilize the intelligent lookup for our requirement. Now, I want to give an exercise for all of you for your home. So you need to go back home and do this exercise. By the way, all the data set which you see here, I will be uploading them in the study material. You guys can download this data set from our study material section. Yes, exclusively only anubhavtrainings.com. Okay, now moving on. Let me give you an exercise for intelligent lookup. You guys have to give it a try. I'll give you the exercise and I'll give you the design use case. So what you need to do, you need to find out how many quantity of our products sold per 1000 people in cities. Yes, how many quantity of our products sold per 1000 people in cities. For this, you will have the input available from our view which we created today. If you remember, we created a view and the view was this view sales inflation view. If I just show you the data in this view, we have cities data in this view. We have cities data in this view. So if I go inside, you will see we will have the city data in this view. So input will be this view. So of course you have to also create this view in your system, view sales inflation. That will be your input. And second input which you need to join with the city population, because you need to know how many products were sold per 1000 people in city. Now to be able to know the city population, you need to download a data from the data marketplace. So if you go to data marketplace, there is a data set available in data marketplace which you need to get it, and this is called cities data, cities population data. So you see 41,000 world city basic master data. I think it's called cities population data, world cities. Yeah, this one. So if you look at this data, the city master data from world cities, it will show 41,000 world cities with a population data of the world cities. So you will get the population, total population of each city from this data marketplace. So that you need to download. So cities data, cities population data from the data marketplace. It's free. This is step number one you need to do. You need to prepare your input. So use your sales inflation data, which is here, which we created here, the sales inflation data and the cities data from here. And then you need to join. But you know what? Again, the same problem will come. When you get the data from data marketplace, it is not cleansed. It may not match with the exact city what you have in your data. You see Berlin Maritime, it's written like this, Berlin Merindorf. That's a full name of one of the German city. But you know that from this data set, when you get the data, it will be pure Berlin. Only Berlin you will get. So if you do the simple join, it will not work. So what will be your next step? Anyone? Can you guess? When two data sets are not matching with a simple join, what will you do? Yes, you will do
Intelligent
the
join.
intelligent lookup. So next step will be perform the intelligent lookup. About to data set, you need to perform the intelligent lookup. So all the steps I am telling you, which you guys have to do as part of exercise. So it will cover everything what we learned today. Now, once you do that, once you got the data from marketplace and then you intelligent lookup, you got the fuzzy search done, and then you will match the data. Once match is done, you will have some city data which is not available, some city data which is available. So based on the final search, you got the data, and then you need to create a new view on top of intelligent lookup. And in this view, what you do, discard first of all the null records. I showed you today already in our example how to discard null records. Then you need to calculate the quantity sold per 1000 people from that city, for which you need to add a formula. The formula will be quantity divided by population. Now population data will come from your data set from the data marketplace. So that data is in the other place, by divide by 1000, and this whole number, this will come in maybe a decimal. So you can round off. You can round this to 0, up to 0 decimal. Round up. This formula you can use, which will be a new calculated column. Let's rename this calculated column sold quantity per k. Yeah, this will be a new column. So that is the requirement you guys have to achieve. And finally, persist the view. And if needed, make a analytic in SSE. That is up to you. If you want to do, it's optional. But the goal is whatever I taught you in today's class: data marketplace, intelligent lookup, view persistence, formulas, projection, filter. Yes, whatever you learn in today's class, everything will be clear. If you are able to achieve this exercise, great, great. Yeah, everything you will be able to achieve whatever I taught you in today's class. So it has all the flavors of today's lessons and learning. Now, our next topic for today is data sharing cockpit. I'll just cover an overview of data sharing cockpit, but in the next episode, we will learn how to share the data. But just the theoretical part I will cover. So you saw that how can you use data from other people? Yes, you just saw by going to data marketplace. Here is where we find people sharing data with us, and we are using this data from other people. But can I become a data provider to other people? And the answer is yes. You yourself can provide data to other people. using data sharing cockpit. You see at the bottom, you can sell your data. If you have some data with you, you can sell it in SAP DataSphere and make earning, secondary source of earning from that. Okay, so this is called data sharing cockpit. Now, what is the use of data sharing cockpit? As I broadly you understand that it is for the purpose of sharing the data with others. I mean, in the open marketplace, register yourself as a vendor with SAP and you can sell your data and make money out of it. So the concept of data provisioning within SAP DataSphere is accomplished with the data sharing cockpit. Data sharing cockpit will consist of several features, all working together to share the data products with other DataSphere users. Yes. Now I can just also quickly switch data provider, activate. So you have to activate and you have to create a data provider profile first of all. I'll explain all of it. So basically this is a central place from where you can share your data with others, with the outside world. Now, to share the data within data marketplace, you need to create a data provider profile through which you will upload the data in the cloud. The data is shared in a context. The data context will define how your data is provisioned to the market. You can define who is allowed to interact with your data from the marketplace, as well as who has the permission to upload data by themselves. Also, there are several options for your data marketplace visibility. The data access can be restricted in several ways. Within the data context management, you can restrict the access to the given domain and administer user. But you can also be able to create license key for your data products, restricting data access to only the user with valid license. So I showed you some data sets today where it required license, which means you need to contact them to get a license and they'll charge you $20 or whatever, so that you can get license from them, and after you have a valid license you can use the data. Same you can do with your data when you upload it to the data service cockpit. The license management does not come with additional cost by itself. It is up to you whether you charge a fees or grant access to your data for free. License key is only used as a security feature to make sure non-compliant access is restricted. You can overlook all the use license at any given time. In case you decide to update your dataset from time to time, you are also be able to use publishing management and grant rules to upload your data monthly with a given data scope for previous month. To clarify the data marketplace, let's compare a farmer market. So I'm sure you must have visited farmer market. Let me show you an example. This is how farmer market look like, right? Perhaps you must have visited farmer markets nearest to your city where you can buy fresh vegetables and fruits, of course. So let's compare it with this kind of use case, real-time use case, to understand it better, how exactly it works. So let's compare with the farmer's market. If you want to buy an apple, you will search for the market stall selling the fruits. The given data product contain data artifacts like apple, pears, banana, lychee, mango, right? The market stall is representing context in which fruits and vegetables are sold as data products. Farmer Joe is running a stall as a data provider. So let's understand Joe. He's Joe. He's running a stall as a data provider, but he is not only selling fruits and vegetable. He is also selling something called animal products, let's say. Yeah. So he is also have another business where he sell animal products. The animal product and the fruit and vegetable contexts run simultaneously. So he has multiple stalls. So one stall is one context. Yeah, context means one type of data. So he is selling animal product on another stall, which is another context. So now you understand what is context. Yeah. So context is the segment in which he is dealing. The animal product and fruit vegetable context run simultaneously under his name. but supplying different products. The animal product stall is having a special offer today, which has been on request only. So there are people that bought tickets in prior week. The supply for this product is restricted and only people with the tickets can buy animal products. So that is also you can control. So when you have different context, you can set different rules there. Yeah. This is how the data marketplace in particular works in DataSphere. So within SAP data marketplace, you can work like a data provider. So what you understood just now is that we can have a data sharing cockpit through which you can share your data with other people. So what is that you can do there? What is it consist of? A data sharing cockpit consists of data provider profile. That's a very first thing, which is example farmer market. So the entire data sharing cockpit is equivalent to farmer market. It's a marketplace. And one profile is you. Let's say Joe. Joe is a person who has stalls in this market, who is a stall maker, who is a shop maker. And then he has context. So Joe is in the fruits business and animal products. These are contexts. And under the context, you have data products. So you have apple, banana, fish, chicken, like this. Yeah, that is the data products. And then there is a license management. How user will pay money. So will you give it free or will you charge? If you charge, how are you going to charge? Will you take credit card, cash, crypto? How you charge the money from them? And then you have publishing management. This is the typical process of data sharing cockpit. Perfect. Yeah. So I hope you are able to understand with the example I have given. Now, along with that, you also have data provider profile. Now, what is data provider profile? As I mentioned already, a data provider profile is private or company. It could be you alone running your business for sharing the data or a company driven. In a company driven, it's an organization where you have lot of people working for that organization. Let's say Gartner. Now Gartner have lot of data scientists and data researchers who are collecting data from market. It has credentials which is containing provider name, data category, and contact information. In case data has issue, whom to contact. Then it has marketplace visibility, where you place your shop. You will place your shop poolside, front side, back side, inside a street. How? So it has public, private, and internal. Public means anyone openly can go and they can use your data. Private means only people with the valid license key can access the data. Internal, which means only within your company, selective people can use the data. Outside your company, nobody can access your DataSphere data. So these are the three types of visibility which we can do. So to do so, it is mandatory to be a member of a data provider profile. So if you are an organization, let's say EY or Deloitte, and Deloitte is selling their data or their research data. So what they do, they create a company profile, data provider profile, and they will add their employees as a members of that data provider profile. We can join an existing data provider profile or we can create a new one with the primary contact information. So we have to define as well as data category, the shipment, and the marketplace visibility status. How it is public, private, or internal. So by giving data provider a significant name, other can easily find the uploaded data. As of today, there will be three strategies of data marketplace visibility available. The public data provider profile, where you upload the data on a public data marketplace. and accessible to all the users and tenants of SAP DataSphere. Everyone in the world can use your data. So I will create one tomorrow, and when you go to your DataSphere, you will be able to find my data provider profile. Private or internal, where only defined and selective people will have the grants, will be given a license key, will be able to access the data. And internal is the one which is accessible to all the users within the company with no additional effort. So this is how we create a profile. Yes. Now the next comes is context management. So what is context management? I showed you for the example of farmer marketplace. You manage your data products in terms of visibility, interaction, accessibility. That is called context. So we manage data products in terms of visibility, public, private, interaction, and accessibility. We can create context for selected group of people to share access to them. Remember, Joe have animal products business, but people who early buy tickets, only they can purchase animal products from that business of Joe. Yes, so that is controlled by context. It also manage availability. Sometimes you see there are coupon codes. Some websites give coupon code, but they only give during selected time. Monsoon sale, yes, monsoon sale, Vistara Airlines, something like that. So this is only for selected. You can control. That is up to you. You can control how you design it. So manage availability, duration of a year of our data in context management. So that is what we do called context management. So the next stage of providing data product through the data sharing cockpit is the context management. Within a data provider profile, there are different types of contexts depending on what kind of marketplace visibility strategy you choose. The first option is public data marketplace, which is free for everyone. All the DataSphere users can use in all the tenants. Be cautious with uploading sensitive confidential data in the public data profile. With private and internal marketplace visibility, you must grant access to the users or either as a member of your context or the data provider themselves to upload data. There's also first option to restrict access to given domain. You can say only people who are having their email ID ending with anubhavtrainings.com can access this data. So through domain restriction, you make it internal to your company. So anyone logging with your with your email ID anubhavtrainings.com, let's say Raj at Anubhav Training, Kavita at Anubhav Training, Abhinav at Anubhav Training, yes, only they can access the data. So domain level security is there. You can also define the members of SAP have given access to your data. So you need to note that adding the member to the context grant access to the metadata within. With the licensing management, it is also possible to control the access of the data and the fact data. The license key does not mean any cost in the first place, but verification method to download the data from marketplace. So you can create as many license fees as you want without any brokerage fees to SAP. So SAP don't charge any brokerage guys in this context of data marketplace. So what we will be doing in our next episode, we will create a data provider profile. We will generate activation keys. We will do context management and create context. And then I will upload the data product in my context. Then I will create license keys and license key scope. And then I will log in with another user ID in another tenant. And I will show you that whatever I upload will be made available to everyone for download for free. Of course, we'll be uploading for free. So that will be our our session. In the next session we will be doing in our class. I'm done with today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's class as usual. Any questions before we close?
Anubhav.
Pretty explanatory, easy. All right. So, thank you so much. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.